This week on the Media Boss Podcast.
I go into the eye of the storm. I don't run from problems or challenges because they're going to catch up with you. Like, it doesn't matter what you do or how you do it. You know, they're going to end up catching you regardless.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Media Boss Podcast. We're starting a new season today, guys. So welcome back. Those of you who are new to the Media Boss Podcast, let me just tell you a little bit about us. My name is Dr. Barrett Matthews, if you didn't know that already. And I am what they call a media optimization professional. So what I do is I help people to get more exposure through media, and I specialize and those people who are high achievers, your CEOs, your retired CEOs, your retired athletes, your professional, your coaches, and so forth. So what I want to do is make it so that they can be more visible and findable for those people who are looking for them. And I do that in Media Boss Pro. Now, my podcast is to let you know who these people are, let you know some of these high achievers, let you know how they became who they are, the struggles they might have had, the things they had to overcome to become who they are. And what I'd like you to do before we dig into it, I'd like to make sure you guys are sharing the Media Boss Podcast with people. Let people know that you are watching us or listening to us on whatever platform that happens to be. Make sure that they know that you are paying attention and taking notes with the Media Boss Podcast. So I want to also let you know that we would not be here if it were not for our good friends at GoBox Studio. You don't have a GoBox Studio? Well, check this out and let us know what you think. If you want to go by studio, talk to me. I can make sure that you get one. So today, guys, I don't want to waste any time because my guest, I'm excited to have him here. As many of you know, if you know me, my background is in sports media. So I'm excited to have this gentleman here because he actually played professional sports. But that's not all there is to it. He is now in business. He's coaching people in business because his story is phenomenal. It went from sports to business, and he is elevating a lot of people in business. As he liked to put it, he was heading into the eye of the storm, and I want to bring him up, guys. He played professional sports, and now he is running Ogden Ventures. And I don't want to waste any more time because I'm excited to interview him. He had me on his podcast, and I'm excited to have him on my podcast today as well. And I want to bring you guys none other than Mr. Marques and improving, man. I'm glad to have you here, buddy. Glad to have you. So how things going on your end?
Things are going really well, man. Very, very fortunate. We just got hired to do a job in right outside of Milwaukee with IAG Wealth Partners. Yeah. So they just sent us their check for that. I got to buy my flight later today. We got a job in Memphis for Professional Insurance Agents of Arkansas chapter. That's going to be at Graceland in Memphis in May. So I've got 4 jobs in May already right now. And so, yeah, been really blessed working. And we have our community, the Inner Game community, which you've been seeing us talk about. Yeah. Jose's part of it. We have several CLA members are part of it. And it's just a group, right, Dr. Matthews, to help people elevate, collaborate with similar mindsets to go to the next level. And eventually we're going to do like workshops, webinars, stuff like that. But right now it's free. We interviewed Bob Berg last week, who wrote the Go-Giver series. Yeah. And then coming up this week is Tony Michaelides, who worked with Bono, U2, David Bowie, Whitney Houston, and Bob Marley with a few of his larger clients on the publicity side. So we're interviewing him tomorrow. But yeah, man, it's very fortunate that people just love what we do and what we're about and where we're trying to go.
And you are doing the doggone thing, man. So 2025 is starting off great for you, huh?
It's going well, man. It's going well.
I like that. I want to go back a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about your NFL career?
Yeah, so I was drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars by my rookie head coach, and he was also rookie in the NFL, the head coach, Jack Del Rio.
Oh, yeah.
Jack was awesome. He was all about giving everybody what I call inclusivity, the opportunity to play on the field. Like he said, he had no favorites. He didn't care about what you did before. This was a new team, a new regime. He was brought in to do a job, and he did it very well. I really liked Jack a lot. Was a great player in the NFL, played at USC, played for Minnesota Vikings, was a real hard-nosed middle linebacker, tough, would hit you, would play the game with a high level, and he coached that way. And so I really had a lot of fun playing for Jack. Went from Jacksonville then to Baltimore, which was amazing. I played with my brother and Ray Lewis and Terrell Suggs and Ed Reed, to name a few. Then went to Buffalo, got to play with Willis McGahee, Eric Moulds, guys like Chris Kelsey, and then to finish off in Tennessee, and I got to play with Vince Young, Michael Griffin, Antoine Odom, Big Country Dave Stewart, Michael Roos, Jacob Bell, Albert Haynesworth, to name a few guys.
Man, that's an incredible career. Some great talent to be around, man. It's like you mentioned, your brother, Jonathan Ogden, the great Jonathan Ogden. You got to playing with your brother's got to be a great thrill, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, getting to play with your brother and then getting to have your parents and your friends and family watching. And, we're from the D.C. area.
Right.
So we only grew up about an hour outside of Baltimore in Washington, D.C. It's funny, I actually went to elementary school, middle school, high school, and college, all in Northwest D.C. Stevens Elementary, downtown, Northwest. Then I went to St. John's, which is over in off Military Road, and that's Northwest. Middle school, high school, and then from there, it's they went over and said, "Hey, man, let's go to Howard and play for the Bison," and I was able to get myself over there and play 5 years for the Bison.
It's funny because we got a lot of the people that know this stuff. We got a lot of butting heads with the two of us, even though it's just fun and games. But in football and pro football, I'm a Steelers fan, so you play for the Raiders. And in college, I went to Hampton, so you went to Hampton. So if you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't.
So basically, you went to the fake HU. And you like the Squealers. That's what you're telling me. So
what I'm saying is that we let you all have HU because at Hampton we use words, so we don't need initial. You know how to spell the name.
You know what I tell all my boys that went to Hampton or another Black House, say, okay, y'all tell me back in the day, right back in the late 90s, early 2000s, what sweatshirts were they wearing on The Cosby Show, Martin, Different World? Living Single. I mean, I can go down the list, right? Howard, like everybody knew Howard. So like I tell you, look, y'all want to claim you got this and that, that's fine. But we all know, everybody knows.
Oh, I don't dispute that you are the most popular school.
Right.
I don't dispute that. You are more popular. I get
right.
I give you that. I have no problem. Never ever have I argued that you all are more popular.
Right.
That's all. And you're gonna have that. And as far as the professional ranks, I just always know the Sixers better than two. So anyway,
nice.
So let's go on to your NFL career. So you said, I know some things I'd read about you. You said that it ended. You had some money. You made some good money, and then things went awry.
Yeah, Dr. Matthews. So what happened is I made some really good money. I had great success in the NFL. Outside of the NFL, things were going really, really well. But unfortunately, I got into construction, and I tell people all the time, if you don't have a true passion for it, at some point you will burn out. And I made a lot of money, $20 million plus at my height, revenue, very profitable. I had maybe you want cars, this, that, trap, what I did all those things, right? But unfortunately, it wasn't going to be sustained or sustainable because I never had a true love to do what I was doing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I eventually, I built the company up to multiple 8 figures in less than 5 years or less than 4 years. And then I lost everything that I owned, right, in 2013. So everything I owned, gone. Home, cars, money, credit cards. I mean, you name it. Gone. Literally, Dr. Matthews, I have a check sitting over here from a client. That check I have right there is probably about 5 to 10 more times than what I had total, when I got to Raleigh. I
Wow.
literally had no money to my name. I had like $300-400. That was it. So I had to start completely over when I got here. And I tell everybody, I was talking to a really great guy yesterday about potentially doing some consulting with him and having his organization pay me to work with professional athletes, high known, big name guys, basketball, things like that. One of his guys is a super max NBA player, got a $180 million contract. And I told the guy yesterday, I said, look, man, I don't care about the money you have. Like, yeah, I don't want none of it. Like, I have a job to do, right? My job would be to keep you from making the same mistakes that I did. That would be my job. And he said, well, Marques, how would you go about trying to educate and teach my guys that know they want to do business, but don't know what it is they want to do? I said, well, it's really simple. We'll go through the 5 keys of any successful business: branding, marketing, sales, ops, finance. So I told him, I said, if you don't know what you have a brand or passion for, if you jump into business like I did, like I had no love of construction. Are you kidding me? I didn't like not none of that stuff. The only thing I liked was the money. Right. And so it didn't matter how much money I made or was making. It didn't matter, Dr. Matthews. It was just a number, or just a amount of time, right? It was just going to be not if I was going to lose everything. It was just more a question of when, right? So basically for me, time was always running out. Even when I just started the clock in construction, that time was just fading away. It was ticking away. And then eventually in 2013, it caught up with me.
So, okay, first of all, emotionally, how were you dealing with that? And then how did you rebound?
So emotionally, how did I deal with it after losing everything? Is that your question? I was a major alcoholic. Oh my goodness gracious. Like anything, well, I was too broke for liquor. So it was like a 6-pack of like Bud Light, Miller Lite, beer. It was just literally, like I tell people, I was running away from the problems, right? I was literally running away. And I was so broke, Dr. Matthews, I couldn't even pay the bankruptcy attorney. So I was literally having my head in the sand, running for my life, just hoping that none of the creditors, by the way, there were 177. I'll never forget that number. My bankruptcy attorney, still to this day, Billy Brewer in downtown Raleigh. I remember meeting him. I was like, dude, how are you going to help me? Like, he had bleep everywhere, all over his desk, and this, that, and the other. He said, Mr. Ogden, if you hire a bankruptcy attorney and his office is organized and he's clean and everything is like ready to go, you got the wrong attorney. I said, oh, all right, cool. So I hired him. And let me tell you something. Still to this day, when I bought my house in 2023, I had to go see him, right? He started helping me in 2013. He got dismissed in like 2014 or 15.
Wow.
He said, when I walked into his office, he said, Marques? I'm like, damn, yes, Mr. Brewer, like, you remember me? He said, still to this day, you have the most creditors of anybody we've ever helped. He said, we earned that $3,500 that you paid us to get those 177 creditors off your back.
Man, wow. That's amazing. So now let's pivot into what made you what you're doing today, man, because I love the work you do.
So, Dr. Matthews, I was working as a custodian downtown Raleigh, and I was still running from my problems. I was still being a cow, as they like to run from the storm. And I finally had my rock bottom moment. One of my favorite people is J.K. Rowling, that wrote Harry Potter. Yeah. She wrote it in her car in Starbucks, broke and homeless and all these things. And her quote is, rock bottom is the moment that I rebuilt my life. And so I hadn't hit rock bottom yet. Lost everything, all that, and still hadn't hit rock bottom. Finally hit it when I was working as a custodian, and somebody's trash and disgusting, rotten, spoiled milk, meat, nasty garbage got all over me. And that was my wake-up call to say, wow, if I don't fix this, I'm going to be literally having all kinds of problems because everything that went wrong in my life was a result of me. It wasn't a result of anybody else. And it took that failure, that accountability to say, okay, this is what you got to do. And so I started speaking then. And like I tell everybody, oh, you're a former athlete. It had to be so easy, right? Yeah. I was like, yeah, no. It took me 2.5 years to get my first paid speaking job. Like I probably did over 100 free talks. My very, very first talk was for a Boys and Girls Club in Raleigh. And then after that, I ended up doing a Rotary Club at, I don't know if you have them up where, Dr. Matthews, where are you located?
I'm in Maryland, man.
Okay. Well, yeah, Golden Corral, they have that in Maryland. Yeah. So I did my second talk for a Rotary Club in a Golden Corral, like in like one of the little side rooms.
Yeah.
And I have, well, the video somewhere on Facebook. And let me tell you, Dr. Matthews, absolutely dreadful. But that's how you have to start. So I started speaking, things like that, and then got my first paid job in April 2016, got my second paid job in April of 2017, and then I got coached in 2018. And so now we've worked for exactly 75 Fortune 500 companies as a speaker. Amazing. 75. Of the 75, I want to say about 20 are going to be for Fortune 100, such as, Mass Mutual, New York Life, MetLife, Liberty Mutual Insurance, all those big boys. We've been very, very fortunate to have, over 20 Fortune 100. So that's what we do now, Dr. Matthews, speak, coach, consult, have a podcast. We have, our community, which you're looking to join, and we have lots of people there. We have 110 people in there already, and we're barely a week old. 110. It's just growing every day with new people. And that's before we even started out doing our outreach to what we call our real audience.
Wow. So first of all, amazing. Kudos to that because if you hear what like people say, oh, that's easy because you're a professional athlete. Just like professional athletes, most people don't see the work that they put in.
Oh yeah, no, nobody sees that. No, nobody sees
work.
Yeah, nobody sees me getting getting feedback from clients when I was going to do a job for NetApp, and a good friend of mine had to politely rip me, or doing a job for a Fortune 15 company and finishing 8-9 minutes early because you screwed up and you didn't do a good job of planning out your stories. And then, hey, anybody have any questions? To kind of fill that 9 minutes, and the room is silent because we're like, well, not really. Like, you should be filling the spot. And so having to get a grade of 7 out of 10 from the global event planner of that company, because you did great with stage presence, you did great with engaging people, but you didn't educate people. You didn't tell anybody in this room anything they didn't know. And it's just where reading or podcasts, listening to people, communities, all that type of stuff, right? So that's huge in that regard, right? So the point is, Dr. Matthews, right? It's really about your ability to weather the storm. And again, you got to go into the eye of the storm to come out. And again, so that's the bison. So again, as you can see, we don't say anybody saying, what is you guys? Oh, the pirates. That's right. Yeah, we don't
say they know a little bit about going in the storm.
Well, no, pirates are plunderers, and they're pillagers, and that's fine. You want to commit a crime.
I had a good bison burger recently.
If you want to go to commit a crime, go to Hampton. Fine. If you actually want to
no Diddy, you're right.
If you want to actually head into the storm and come out like a bison, go to Howland. But the story
no Diddy on that one.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's all good. It's all good. So the story is, bison, when they see a storm coming, they dig their hooves in and they go towards it, because they believe if they go towards it, they'll come out on the other side faster and less scathed. And so that's what I do now. It's like I go into the eye of the storm. I don't run from problems or challenges, because they're going to catch up with you. Like, it doesn't matter what you do or how you do it. They're going to end up catching you regardless. So the bison believe that's how they should live their life. And I tell people all the time, if you have a challenge, don't run. Don't put your head in the sand. It's not going to do anything. Learn how to what's called move your horizons and take on a challenge one action step at a time. And I feel that's where a lot of people struggle. Take our community, right? Dr. Matthews. I mean, I don't know how to do the email, the outreach, the build the audience and create the platform, but my partner Victor does. So that's a challenge I have. So now we move the challenges together. Victor handles one side, and I'm responsible for bringing people like yourself in or Jose and setting up the interviews and giving people the content. And what Victor does, he takes those interviews, he cuts them up, drops them on YouTube, drops them in the room, boom, boom, boom. And that's how you go about it. And so everybody that's struggling, and a lot of people are, and trust me, I have been there. I have had no money. I've had credit cards or bank cards go boop, boop, bleep, bleep, not going to work, no money. I've had it all, right? No home, foreclosed on, you name it, I've divorced, you name it, I've been through it. If you're listening to this podcast, please don't run from adversity or an obstacle or a challenge. It's going to catch you. What you need to do is just dig your feet in, look at the storm, and go at it. And then from there, once you're in it, move the horizons by getting one thing done at a time. Because if you try to take on the entire challenge or obstacle, you'll get overwhelmed. And once that happens, you're pretty much not going to do anything.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you for that. Now, one question before we wrap up here. What is the one thing that either keeps Marques Ogden awake at night, or the one thing that has you so excited?
One thing that keeps me up at night is just always finding ways to innovate and be creative. Always. What I'm excited about is our community growing something that people enjoy, that they like, that they want to be a part of, that they understand is going to help them get to where they want to go. And that is what really gets me excited. So having our community, creating a place for like yourself or other amazing thought leaders to collaborate, share ideas, network, help each other. That's what really excites me in that regard.
And Marques, please let everyone know how they can get in touch with you, my man.
They can go to our app, which is the Marques Ogden app, MarquesOgden. You can go to our website, which is marquesogden.com. You can go to our community, which is the Inner Game Community. It's on the platform School. You can look us up there. It's called The Inner Game. Or just shoot me an email, marques@marquesogden.com.
All right. You guys, you'll have all that in the show notes as well. Marques, I appreciate you so much for joining me here on Media Boss Podcast, my friend. I'm looking forward to seeing. Hey, man, next time you're up in the DC area, let me know, man.
Oh, for sure, man. Absolutely. We'll get together for sure.
I grew up in Prince George's, right over in Glen Arden there.
Oh yeah. So we grew up from DC, but we grew up my mom had a house in Adelphi, right? University Boulevard, right behind the shop. The shop is
my
where
mother grew up in College Park. My father in Hyattsville.
So he was in Hyattsville, right? And then my mom sold that, and then now she lives on Central Avenue. I guess she called like Upper Marlboro, Argo. She lives in Cameron Village, right across from Six Flags.
I grew up around Kevin Glover from the Lions.
Oh yeah, of course. Center, of course. Yes, of course. Yeah.
So when I went to high school, I don't know if you remember Alvin Blunt used to play for Maryland.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I played ball with him at on the Roosevelt High.
Yeah, you went to Roosevelt? Oh, yep. Home of Maya.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Maya. Yeah, so Maya was at Roosevelt when I was at St. John's.
Get out.
Yeah, I mean, Maya, we're the same age.
You know what? I tell people, I said I learned this by just looking up stuff. I went to high school with Martin Lawrence and Kenny Lattimore as well.
Yeah.
But the most successful Roosevelt grad, Sergey Brin, co-founder of Google.
Google, yeah. The guy, that's right. The guy who co-founded Google went to Roosevelt. That's right. That's correct.
And nobody knows that here.
Yeah, I know. I knew it.
I knew you would.
Yeah, I knew. Somebody told me that he went there like in the late
90s.
Late
90s, early 90s.
Early 90s. Yep.
But thank you so much, man. I appreciate you so much. Everybody, make sure that you follow the links, get in touch with Marques Ogden. Guys, we're going to be right back after this right now. And when we come back, we're just going to show you how to wrap up the show, guys. We appreciate you so much. We'll be right back after this.
Let's face it, you've been talking about starting a podcast for quite some time, but you haven't started yet. Why is that? Could it be that you just don't have the time because your day-to-day keeps you so busy? Or could it be that you don't want to learn all the technical aspects that go into putting together a quality podcast? Well, at Media Boss Club, we take care of that for you. How would you like to have a done-for-you experience? That's right. At Media Boss Club, we build your podcast for you. We will edit your podcast. We will put in the music for you. We even put in commercial breaks that you can put your advertisers in. We will take care of all of the uploading to the great podcast platforms that are out there. That's right, we do everything. All you have to do is just right now go to MediaBossClub.com. That's MediaBossClub.com and let us handle the heavy lifting for you.
All right, guys, how was Marques Ogden? Was he great or was he great? Look, I'm going to tell you guys, if you want to learn more about how you can become a media boss as well, I expect you guys to be at my Make Money from Media Challenge. You can find out more about it by watching this right here. All right, now, guys, get registered for the challenge, the Make Money from Media Challenge. How do you get there? MakeMoneyFromMediaChallenge.com. Really easy, really easy to get to. And for those of you who are interested in getting a Go Box, I tell you right now, go ahead and hit me up on social media. I want to thank you all for joining me today. I want to thank Marques Ogden for being a phenomenal guest as well, guys. Make sure that you're following us and sharing this as well. And like I always say, guys, you are something special because you are God's vessel. Guys, we'll see you next time on the Media Boss Podcast.